Lungu dalitsani Malawi, musunge mtendere, konjetsani adani onse, jalantenda sanje, lunzitsani mitima yatu, kuti tisope, dalitsenso goleri nafe, dima Malawi.
Nyimbo ya mtundu wathu imeneyo songeza kuti pano zonse ndithu zikhale zikuyamba, ndiye tikusiyeni ndithu m'manja mwa amene akuyendetsa mwambo umenewu, Frank Job Chakaza.
Tiseke maso tipemphere. Zikoma Atate Mulungu wakumwamba, echakukomerani siku la lero Ambuye kuti mutilole fananu tikumane nyumba ino. Ambuye ndikupemphani kuti pakati pathu pali asogoleri athu amene mwapasa ntchito chokhazikitsa project imeneyi. Mukadalitse vice president athu Saulos Chilima ndi luntha ndi mphamvu. Ambuye tikupemphani kuti mukamange chimzimu choyipa chomwe chili m'makhanso chamene chiwanda chakuba, kuti project ikathe kupindulira Malawi. Ndosiya zonsezi m'dzina la Yesu Khristu mpulumutsi wathu. Amen.
Thank you very much, Councillor Yona Mtanga, for that opening prayer. Your Honor, Dr. Saulos Chilima, Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Felix Mlusu, Minister of Finance, Honorable Halima Daudi, MP, Deputy Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Mr. Hugh Riddle, Country Manager of World Bank, Mr. Charles Makanga, representing Secretary for Local Government and Rural Development, all senior government officials here present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to the official launch of the Governance to Enable Service Delivery project. It is a great time, and I do believe you all know what I mean when I say this activity could never have come at a better time. We all know what's going on in the country. We all know what has happened in the past few days. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it is our hope that a new Malawi is on the horizon, and that will be achieved if we fix the problem that we have in our councils. And this project is aimed at exactly that. It is hoped that through this project that is going to be running for the next 5 years or so, we will strengthen local authorities. We want to strengthen their institutional performance. We want to make them more responsive to citizens. We want them to manage resources so that they can deliver the service that they are intended for. And that's where I emphasize that this could never have come at a better time. The country is on its sickbed. Councillor Ntanga did hint in his prayer to God that the rot that is in our councils should be removed. The problems that we have, the theft, the mismanagement. It is our hope that through this project we will sing a better song. Therefore, allow me, our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Mr. Charles Makanga, who is representing Secretary for Local Government and Rural Development, which is critical as well in implementation of this project at council level, to come forward and give us a brief statement. Mr. Makanga, please.
Your Honor, the Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Felix Mulusu, Minister of Finance, Honorable Halima Daud, MP, Deputy Minister of Local Government, the representative from the Secretary to the Treasury, Mr. Arufeo Banda, the Executive Director for National Local Finance Committee, Mr. Youth Leader, the World Bank Country Manager, all senior government officials here present, representatives of local governments here present, and those who are following us visually, members of the press, distinguished guests. It is my pleasure this afternoon to welcome you all to this special occasion. In a special note, I welcome the Right Honorable, the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Saulos Chilima, the Minister of Finance, Honorable Felix Mulusu, the Deputy Minister of Local Government, Honorable Halima Daud, MP, to this very important project launch. I am delighted that this project launch has brought highly dignified Malawian sons and daughters, both physically and visually, to witness the occasion of the official launching ceremony of the Governance to Enable Service Delivery GSED project. The Right Honorable, the Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long journey of engagements, discussions, and design and redesign this project. The project design started sometime in the year 2018. I would be fair in my job if I don't mention staff from the Ministry of Local Government, National Local Government Finance Committee, Ministry of Finance, National Audit Office, Central Internal Audit, the World Bank, who played a very important role for the effectiveness of this project. Right Honorable, the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, ladies and gentlemen, the GSED project has been designed in a very participatory and consultative manner. The design team consulted several stakeholders, such as local authorities, senior and junior government officers from various MDS, non-governmental organizations, and developmental partners to reach this far. The project addresses critical challenges facing the local authorities that have come through deep research and technical reviews. This project is in line with the reform agenda of the Ministry of Local Government, which is championing the devolution of the development budget to local authorities, and also strengthening the performance mechanisms for improved service delivery in councils. Right Honorable, the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank the GSED task team leader of the World Bank, the core task team leader, and design team for the work well done. I'm convinced that implementation of this project will improve service delivery to the citizens of this country. Lastly but not least, allow me also to thank the project launch organizing team for a job well done. I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Makanga. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Malawi decided in around 1998 to decentralize delivery of services, especially public services. we trusted our councils to handle all tasks, well, most of them, as opposed to central government. Now, regularly, the central government wants to know how the district councils are doing. So they do an assessment. And we're going to hear later on a presentation on this assessment, on how it has been done and what was discovered in that assessment. And I'm sure we should all be very keen to know what that assessment unearthed. But before that, we want to know more about this project that is being launched today, the Governance to Enable Service Delivery Project. So I would now like to invite Mrs. Mwanaosire Mhango, Director of Public Finance Management Systems in the Ministry of Finance, to come and bring us up to date on what this project is all about, after which we will have a presentation on the performance assessment that I just talked about. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Honor, the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Saulos Chilima, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Felix Mlusu, the Honorable Deputy Minister of Local Government, Mrs. Halima Daudi MP, all protocols observed. I'm here this afternoon to bring an overview of the Governance to Enable Service Delivery Project. The Governance to Enable Service Delivery Project, as the name says, it is governance to enable service delivery. So the emphasis in this project is looking at not just improving accountability and transparency and the governance structures, but why are we improving those governance structures? Why are we improving public finance management system is to enable service delivery for the local citizenry. The project is being implemented for a 5-year period, and this is a project that is being financed by World Bank as a grant to a total amount of $100 million. So we will run this project in all 28 district councils, and this does not include the city councils and the municipal councils. The lead implementing agencies for this project are the 28 district councils, the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Finance, including the departments under the Ministry of Finance, National Local Government Finance Committee as a fiduciary agent. The objective of this project is to strengthen local authorities' institutional performance, responsiveness to citizens, and management for service delivery. In strengthening institutional performance for the local authorities, we will look at have the local authorities followed the public finance management laws and regulations. So in this case, the preparation of the financial statements, the audit of the financial statement, the functioning of an internal audit, and also internal audit committees. Do we have a functioning procurement role at district council? And if the procurement is functioning at district council, have we followed the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Act? At the same time, the implementation of the project will be done following the District Development Plan, which is the DDP, and the District Development Fund. From the District Development Fund, we are going to have the annual investment plans, which will inform the implementation of the performance-based grant for this project. This project has been formulated in 4 components, and the first component is looking at performance-based financing for service delivery, and this has been allocated a total amount of $73.2 million, and the $70 million is the development grant. This development grant will be accessed by all the 28 district councils when they have met their minimum access conditions in the local council assessment performance, and also they have made specific performance indicators, and they have made the triggers for them to receive the performance-based grant. And secondly, the $3.2 million is for conducting the local authorities' annual assessment, and also will be used to strengthen performance on public resource management and service delivery. This performance-based grant has been linked to the District Development Fund, and ourselves from the Ministry of Finance, with the leadership of the Minister of Finance, will provide the resources to the Council to complement the implementation of the performance-based grant and the implementation of the annual investment plan. When a council has implemented 80% of its annual investment plan, in the following year, it will also have additional resources to implement their investment programs. The second component is looking at the intergovernmental accountability systems, and this has been allocated $3.8 million US. We took cognizance of the fact that there are some policy decisions that are made by central government, and there are policy holders on, for example, accounting, local authority management, and other issues. So in those areas, it is for the central government to enable the local councils to perform effectively. So what are we looking at? The National Audit Office to audit the local councils in good time, and also to provide the audit certificates. The councils to prepare their financial statements and to keep their books of accounts. The councils to ensure that the teachers that are teaching at a particular district are the ones that are available on the payroll in that district, and also that we are providing the services in the health sector as required to be provided. So this will strengthen central government policy and also systems to bolster oversight of the local authority service, and to support the intergovernmental transfer systems and external audit, and also ensure that the transfers that are being made to the local governments are being done on a timely basis and are also provided in accordance with the budgets and the plans for the councils that have been agreed at council level. The third component has been linked to the first component. This is the performance improvement support. As Joab had mentioned, the councils, the district councils, will be undergoing performance assessment. Some of the councils will do well, some of the councils will not do well. In the first year of the implementation of this project, which is this year, we'll look at thematic performance improvements for all the councils. So compliance to laws and regulations, the establishment of the internal procurement and disposal of assets committees for all the councils, and whether that committee has been established, ensuring that at council level decisions are made by the council, the annual improvement plans and the district development plans have been approved by the council, and also ensuring that The councils are keeping their books of accounts as required, and we are promoting transparency and accountability. Where we are having shortfalls, then this $18 million will be used to strengthen the capacity and skills at local authority level to improve their performance, and also to support the recruitment of local authority personnel for critical functions. During the preparatory phase of this project, we had noticed that we have a number of critical vacancies, and that those vacancies need to be filled for the council to perform at an optimal level. The other issue is also to provide capacity building support for improved performance in local authorities, and also to twin the councils. If another council has done extremely well and the other council is not doing well, then we also make deliberate efforts for the councils to learn from each other and also on the best practices. The last area is to promote effective citizen engagement at key decision-making points. A critical element of this project is citizen engagement, and also to listen to the voice of the citizens in service delivery and what kind of services are being provided. The last component, which is component 4, is adaptive management and innovative support, which is looking at new ways of providing services and new ways of innovatively providing services to the citizenry. Also in this way, establishing and maintaining an effective system of grievance redress and the anti-corruption measures. So this $5 million is looking at maintenance of project standards and procedures. And for the project standards and procedures, the performance-based grant in component 1, the 70 million grant, has eligible projects defined. So these eligible projects are in the health sector, education sector, and the transport sector. The ineligible areas are, for example, procurement of a motor vehicle, building of an office infrastructure at the headquarters level. So the infrastructures that are going to be built that are chosen by the council should meet specific standards. And at the end of the day, we should be able to say we have built a school block, and this school block will last for a period of 30 years or for a period of this number of years, and those particular standards have actually been made and the procedures have been followed. These resources will be looking at, have we followed the project standards? Have we followed the procedures? If we have not followed those standards, then there have to be redress mechanism and also anti-corruption measures to ensure that what is being implemented using the District Development Fund resources as provided by the budget, complemented with the performance-based grant, are being implemented with good quality standards, and we also have assurances on what we are doing as districts. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to say that the Governance to Enable Service Delivery project, at the end of these 5 years, we've been able to implement this and this in District A or in District B, and this is what we have managed to do. The $5 million will also be used for project implementation and also to support the National Local Government Finance Committee, specifically in looking at the implementation of these standards. So looking at the project as a picture, as I have explained, we are looking at the component 1, which is the local government, and the main agenda for this project is improved services for citizens. And from the local government, then we are looking at the performance-based financing for local government service delivery, which is looking at responsive investments, that have been informed by the councils themselves, and we have not dictated these investments to the councils. And then financial accountability, transparency laws, compliance to financial regulations and laws, and ensuring that all the financial statements have been prepared and have been audited at the end of the financial year. Improved basic services. As part of the project and as part of the assessment criteria, we are also looking at the pass rates, for example, for Standard 8 exams for the district. Have we done well? And also the delivery of services at the primary health service level. Then for the central government, it's inputting into the local government, looking at the intergovernmental accountability systems on public finance management and also the intergovernmental fiscal transfer systems. Then component 3 is feeding from both the component 1 and component 2 on local government performance improvement support, looking at the critical functions and the provision of those critical functions at council level and the resources, the performance improvement and the citizen engagement. As part of the governance structures, we also have a task force team for the CSOs and also the non-governmental organizations which will look at the citizen engagement component. And then the component 4 is looking at the adaptive management and innovative support to support both the central government and the local government in improving the services for the citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Mrs. Muhangu, for that presentation. Quite an ambitious project and quite exciting to witness the official launch of. My hope is that we'll be this excited 5 years from now, having seen how much it has worked. And it's not like we don't have examples to learn from. The next presentation is going to show us what things are looking like on the ground. An assessment of council's performance, looking at how they are handling issues of procurement, issues of writing proper financial statements, testing if the community is able to access information from the councils. That's going to be in the next presentation on the local authority performance assessment, and it's going to be handled by Mrs. Piwe Mawa, Director of Local Government Services in the Ministry of Local Government. Let's pay attention and see what things are looking like on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your Honor, the Vice President, Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, the Minister of Finance, Honorable Mnusu, and the Deputy Minister of Law Government, Honorable Halima Daudi, who is also a Member of Parliament, DOA, all protocols observed. It is my honor that I will take you through the 2018-2019 LAPA results. The LAPA results, these are the Local Authority Performance Assessment. This is now the most exciting thing about the project, the JSID project. For a long time, the general public have actually argued why are local authorities there for. We have developed functions, we have developed resources to councils, but we cannot see any impact. We cannot see any effect. So basically, what this project has introduced is now the improvement in terms of service delivery. So the way we designed this project was that we should be able to assess councils. For a long time, the public have argued, do you have councils that you can actually say is the best council? From the head, someone can say maybe Lilongwe City, or maybe Baraka, because I'm coming from Baraka, or maybe Shtipa, because my mom is from Shtipa. But we should have the basis for argument. So as government, we actually design what would be the basis for argument in terms of assessing the council. So from November 2020 to December 2020, the Ministry of Local Government engaged the independent assessors. I know local authorities that have actually argued. You may wish to note that this is not the first time that as a Ministry of Local Government we are conducting the local authority performance assessment. The LAPA, we have been doing this for the past 10 years. But this year's LAPA assessment is one of the assessments whereby it's exciting simply because we have now attached the grant. Last 2 or 10 years, we have been conducting this assessment. Number 1, number 2, number 10. But this time around, we said, so what? After I'm number 38, or I'm number 32, or I'm number 1, what is it that should motivate them? So the LAPA assessment for this project is 1, to motivate the councils that are doing well, and also to help uplift, actually hand-holding the councils that are not doing well. In case we have discovered that this council is not doing well, this project, looking at the center, that is our colleagues from the National Audit Office, from Ministry of Finance, from Ministry of Health, they'll be actually hand-holding all those councils that are not doing well, and then they will actually help them to do well. So the results basically will also determine the eligibility of the council to receive the amount of the resources and also the amount. We are going to see at the end how this LAPA results is going to affect the amount of money, especially for DDF, District Development Fund. The District Development Fund is one of the resources, I know most councillors will actually agree with me, that we call it discretionary. Unlike maybe CDF, I'm sorry, Honorable, Imene MP, amakala nayo choshita yeka CDF. While DDF, we will actually emphasize that this is discretionary. As a council, you actually have to come up with projects that are actually from the district development plan. And we assume that projects from the district development plan are coming from the village development committees, where most councillors, most traditional authorities, all of us, we are there. So the component of the LAPA this time around has 3 components. 1 is the minimum access condition, whereby each and every council has to meet, and also the performance measures, and also the triggers. On the minimum access condition, what we are expecting that these are the basic safeguards, for a council. Blantyre District Council, you need to have personnel, the basic thing that a council should have. So, and again, if a council fails to have this minimum access condition, we actually said the council should not receive the amount of money. Because if you do not have the director of finance, procurement officer, the basic things, how are you going to manage the resources? Fortunately enough, for this year, all the local authorities, that is the district authorities, they all managed to be on the minimum access conditions. The second thing is now about the performance measures, okay? You are able to have or access all the basic things. Now the performance measures. On the performance measures, now is when we engaged our technical sectors using different kind of indicators. So in terms of allocation of the resources, we had to make sure that we should come up with basic formula, or how are you going to be allocating this money? So after we did thorough consultations with the councils, we said in terms of components, we should actually allocate the resources. 40% of the allocated, the performance-based grant, should be allocated based on the basic formula. The basic formula that we all know, it's about 40% poverty indicators. These poverty indicators are the indicators that we get from healthy. How many children are dying maybe because of mortality rate, the people who are able to ride, the literacy rate. So in terms of poverty indicators, it was about 40%. And also we used population was about 40%. If you compare Lilongwe District Council, it has been an argument for most of the time. Compare Lilongwe District Council, and for argument's sake, because they are here, Rumpi District Council. Already Lilongwe District Council has a population of about 1 million. Rumpi, we're talking about maybe 200,000 to 300,000. So as a council, you've got only a few people for Rumpi District Council to reach out in terms of interventions than Lilongwe District. So already, in terms of dispensing the resources, Lilongwe will get more. But we should also look into the poverty indicators. The other councils, they are generally good in terms of indicators, whilst others, they're still lagging behind. So this project, we are saying, Simo, we have to reach or intervene to those councils that are doing not right. And in terms of poverty indicators, apart from using the head count that we all know, we also had to use statistics from NSO, the ultra poor. Amene muchishewa timati palosauka osaukitsitsa, which are now the osaukitsitsa ones that we should be able to reach out. So in those councils which had the most ultra poor, again, they will need more interventions. So again, those people, they had to be considered. And also land area. For argument's sake, I will use Likoma District Council. For those who have been to Likoma, it may take you less than 3 hours to finish Likoma district in terms of traveling by road. But if you go to maybe Zomba, Mangoshi, how many hours? So in terms of land area size, you find out that still more, we know as a secretariat, it may take time to reach out. However, most councils have argued that this formula may not help other councils in terms of whatever indicators we have used. Poverty, you find out that the poverty indicators, they are good, okay? In terms of maybe population, there are less people. In terms of ultra poor, there are not maybe more poor people. What is it? Therefore, by the end of the day, they will not receive anything. So we are also applying just a 10% to make up everything so that at least each and every council should receive. So this PPG, performance-based grant, will be allocated based on the LAPA results, but now weighted on the formula. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure that I should announce the local authority performance assessment results for 2018-19. I know most councils, maybe they know their results, but they may not be able to know how other councils have performed. So basically, number one, it's Balaga. As we said, Balaga has got 67%. This is a low mark, but for us as a ministry, even as a mother or as a parent, you want your child to have 100%. But for a start, we said, okay, we should expect 67. For the next 5 years, it should translate maybe to 100%. Pangono, they'll be there. So based on the indicators that we used, this is how now the marks are. The center part is the minimum access condition. As we said, all the councils, this time around, they had to meet all the minimum access conditions, but now on the scores. As we said, the indicators, we are assessing them in terms of finance. Do they have the financial report? Are they submitting the reports on time? In terms of public works, have they completed the projects? There are several indicators that we are assessing the council. Have they actually implemented the project from the district development plan? Or lokapena makansala anangoganiza so kuti tigawane ndrama equally. Kuti poti muti TTF yakunabula 30 million, let us just share 5 million. If they did that, then they'll get a low score or maybe no mark at all. So based on that, for councils that performed based on the LAPA assessment tool that we used, Balaga was number 1, followed by Lilongwe District Council, number 2, then Inchinji, number 3, Kasungu, number 4, Rumpi District Council, 59%, while Blantyre, 57%. I know Blantyre is not happy because last year Blantyre was number 1. So you can actually see that this is quite tricky. So those are the 6 councils that have performed, if I can actually argue, based on education criteria, those that have passed above 50%. While those that have got gentleman's grade, 40%, and somehow they've done well, but not very well, now we've got Nkota, which has got 49, Cholo 49, Mulanje 47, Dedza 46, Nkatabe 46, Shtipa 45, Salima 44, Doa 42, Karonga 42, Nsanje 40, Mwanza 39, Neno 34, Likoma 33, Ncheu 33. I will now present the last councils which have done extremely very bad because they have got a score below 30%. And these are the councils that were actually saying they really need a hand-holding. Akalamwana school, kushira kumperekeza nditu nkalasi kuti akalowe kunkwapula. But these are the councils that as a ministry or as government we really need extra actually effort to make this council perform well and then close supervision. So we've got Chikwawa 29, Nchisi 29, Mberwa 26, Zomba 26, Mangoshi 25, Palombe 25, Mashinga 24, and Kukale Timari Kiseka Komo 21 is Chilazulu District Council. Councils may actually say, so what? I'm number 28, so what? What we're saying is that your performance in LAPA is going now to affect the amount of funds that you are going to receive. So if you apply the LAPA results and also the basic DDF funds that have already been receiving, you can actually now see why we want councils to challenge them that they need to work better. So from the next table, you see that Balaka, because it got a score of 67, had it been the total basic score, I mean, in terms of resources that is going to receive, it's around 284 million. These are the indicative planning figures for the next financial year of 2021-2022. So if these funds are going to be approved and transferred to the council, we should expect Balaka District Council to come up with projects, infrastructure, or whatever programs based on their district development fund amounting to 284 million. If you can compare that to 209, you should have actually received. You can compare that maybe to, for argument's sake, Lilongo, if I may take maybe Salima. Salima District Council, which has got a score of about 44%, is going only to receive 251. But if you check if you have to use the minimum access condition and the indicators for Salima, and maybe you compare to Rumpi, you find out that Rumpi, and because Rumpi, the population is very small, while Salima is relatively high, they could have received more. But because of this LAPA, Rumpi, instead of 131, they'll actually get 178 million over Malawi Kwacha. And again, Shtipa, they were 42%. Now they get 179 over a million Malawi Kwacha. So those are the indicative planning figures, basically, that have been added from this project and the basic and also the performance grant. If you compare Shiradzulu, maybe, which is also number 28, it's going to get only 154 million. And the IPF, the indicative planning figures, is about 113. So basically, these are the impact of this project to district development fund. Find out that councils that perform very well, their resources again will be increased, unlike councils that do not perform very well. So what is happening is we are getting money from councils that are not performing very well, we are taking it to the other councils. By the end of the day, we are introducing more or less like a competition, but also challenging the councils that they should do well. But the end result is about service delivery and also improvement in terms of performance. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for that presentation and for bringing us up to speed on what is happening in our district councils. Thank you very much, Mrs. Spiwe Maua. And well done to Balaka and the other district councils that have performed very well. We're going to present a copy of the book that is being launched under this project, so that they can continue doing well. There are a couple more councils that are going to be recognized later on. Our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, as we are moving on with the program, I'm sure you might have heard earlier that this project is being funded by the World Bank, and we are going to be joined by the World Bank country manager, Mr. Hugh Riddle, just to highlight that he has been following this event virtually. In this room, though, we have got Mr. Ephraim Chilima, acting country manager for World Bank. So allow me to invite the next speaker, Mr. Hugh Riddle, he is going to address us virtually. Thank you.
Lima, Honorable Felix Malusu, Minister of Finance, Honorable Halima Daoud, Deputy Minister of Local Government, senior government officials, development partners, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, allow me to apologize that I'm not able to be there in person, but also let me express my gratitude to the organizers of today's launch, for the World Bank team, as well as for the fellow development partners on whose work this project builds. This is a proud moment. But most of all, I would like to congratulate the government for the intensification of the decentralization agenda that today's event represents. The Governance to Enable Service Delivery project, or GESD, will strengthen local government systems and accountabilities and aims to improve public service delivery for citizens, matching local government responsibilities with adequate fiscal resources. I have three brief messages to give today. Firstly, performance-based financing. With the ongoing audit of COVID-19 funds, confidence in government systems remains uneven and accountability challenges are there. Performance-based financing means that disbursements to councils will be tied to results. Local authorities and central ministries will be required to meet triggers before funds are released. This is a new way of working. The possibilities are huge, but the implications of underperformance are also real. The project offers the opportunity to local governments to triple discretionary development financing, but that is based on performance as measured by the results of the Local Authority Performance Assessment, or LAPA. Secondly, the power of citizens. Citizens can be the key drivers of good governance, and we strongly welcome government's adoption of a citizens' engagement approach within GESD. By bringing citizens' voice into performance assessment, GESD aims to spark a virtuous cycle in which local authorities and their citizens work together to improve governance. And finally, an architecture for more effective development spending. GESD reflects strong collaboration among DPs, and we aim to support our strategic alignment with the national vision. Building on the work of the Local Government Assistance Project, LGAP, supported by the US and UK, GESD aims to increase confidence in local government systems and to serve as a potential channel for further investments by both government and donor partners in local level service delivery. It is also our hope as development partners that this program serves as a platform to address the recommendations that may emerge from the Public Sector Reforms Review Task Force being chaired by you, the Vice President. Thank you again, and we look forward to continuing to support you as partners in the road to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And that is the World Bank that is funding the Governance to Enable Service Delivery project. Thank you so much indeed for all the support that you give to the Malawi government to help it deliver its services better. And as they say, all work and no play makes Jane a dull girl. May I now invite Chindime and Pungwako to come and entertain us a bit. Thank you.
Ine mayembekezero kuti wiki ya mawayi ndibwere kumudzi kumweko ndi mwabwere sokuno
apunga kuna bwe kuno ni tuli
pepani tuzofuta ndamva
munamva kuti
kuti nyamata uja ndi tupasaka simu nairo bwino anatisiya nyamata
apunga ko dziko lumatuka makhala umati kodi ineyo mulungu ndamulakwira chani anthu amene safawa kwa amapemphera motani kwa mulungu mwana adamwalira tere mtanda kuona chotero chipulumutsa kuchiona poteropo mwana magona pano
Ndemwe tisidakhala bwanji.
Nuza ndani.
Ineyo.
Mphamvu zake ndizitenga kuti zokuzira.
Inu mundifotokozere kuti mwana kuti atisiye. Chidachitika ndi chani?
Kodi simunaferedwa kwe? Mukataferedwa mudzadzo kuti munthu ambolangula zimakhala bwanji. Uyamba polangula basi hula.
Ayi ndime. Pepani zovuta ndawo.
Mmene zidakhalira zidali zotere. Mufuna pochita njinga. Chabwino. Ponga kumene zidakhalira. Mwana anajwala kumudzi matenda otsegumimba. Ndiye chamuludziwa kuti ife tipite kuchipatala kwathukuja timoloka kamtsinje. Mwana danyamuka naye ufulumira naye uthamangire kuchipatala. Timafika pa mtsinje wadzadza. Kumtunda kudagwa madzi. Kudagwa mvula. Tinyamuka bwanji mwana utioloke naye tipite naye pa chipatala. Mwana mbaba kugula pano malira chipatala achiona poteropo. Moti mwana adafa chithandizo chili poteropo. Ndiye ine nakwiya nati no council sirithandiza. Ku console palibe chimene aluchita.
Chabwino.
Buliji lidambo mpaka lekale lidonongeka buliji kuno. So rithandizayo. Ndiye lero nashuwa mtima nati nenu kuona nana unduna. Mene ndimati nizidutsa apa nono nduno lulowa. Halima Daudi.
Onda?
Halima Daudi. Muluseka?
Kodi pachandachewe? Kodi pochewa mukati matanthauza chani?
Ndiona labo. Ndeti mandula kuti ndimene mona lulowa muno. Nuluyenda chokeso kalekaleni avivi ya lulowa. Nati mwayi wanga wolula mavuto wonse amene tikumana nawo ni khoso ya kwathu. Wafika liti?
Pamenepa.
Mota akamatuluka vice president chanza upacha chanza chinatha ndi covid ndoti nichitoyima pano kwauza zonse. Nitoti lupungwa kunimene adafera mwana mtanda akuona mtanda.
Ayi ndime. Pepani.
Mzedi.
Chifukwa cha mavuto ngati amenewa amene amalawi osiyana-siyana tikumana nawo.
Kumidzi ndikakhalenso mwina mmaboma mosiyana-siyana.
Boma la Malawi.
Chabwino.
Lero tikukhazikitsa meri kuti just. Governance to enable service delivery project.
Governance to enable service delivery.
Yes.
Chabwino.
Project imeneyi ithandiza kutukula makonsolo kuti makonsolo amenewo athandize pa chitukuko zonse zimene zakhazivutika kuma konsolo kumeneko.
Iwo aona mavuto amene amapezeka ukonsolo. Boma layang'ana kuti mavuto amene amapezeka ukonsolo ni wati. Mavuto amene watingathane nawo bwanji. Kupatula zinthu zina zimene zimapezeka ukonsolo kuti ni mavuto ati amene tingagwirepo ife.
Mwaona?
Nzedi.
Ine mudziwa chindime. Kuti boma la Malawi linakhazikitsa chimati decentralization.
Nzedi.
Mphamvu kwanthu.
Nzedi dipungwawo.
Kuti makonsolo azitukulawo ka maderawo.
Anthu asamavutikenso mwabwera ku Capitol Hill iya. Kwawo komweko mayankho osazipezekera kuti
kumeneko.
Nzedi.
Ndipo boma limapereka kumeneko chithandizo cha ndalama chichi.
Icha TDF. Pepani timazitsata-tsata pachani ni chairman wa village development committee.
TDF ija inali mavuto angapo. Vuto loyamba kuti ndalama imeneyi imachepa kuti chitukuko chikwanire pa consolo.
Amatheka anthu apa consolo kambirana zitukuko. Koma TDF makangati mmemo ochepa umene akanganira negulu. Zitukuko zimachuluka. Nakasipotema mmemo alesa mabwera ndi mphamu yake nimene mkono wake ulili. Pali ena pokati amapita motere. Ena amapita motere. Ndeka mmemo kacha kamachepa. Chabwino.
Vuto lina linaloti anthu amene agwira ntchito ku makonsolo ambiri alibe zowayenereza kuti agwire ntchitoyo.
Chabwino.
Ndiye kunali vuto lina. Vuto limene alipo lina kusolola.
Sokoneza ndalama za boma?
Iyayi. Tisati kusokoneza ndalama za boma. Chichawo chimene chagwitsa ntchito nthawi yayitali. Tiyeni patidziwuzane momveka bwino chifukwa chakuba.
Okuba ndalama za boma. Kusolola makanga tulemekezali. Amatati ngako. Azichita malawasi. Ndalama pogwiritsa ntchito njira za malawasi.
Ndiye just imeneyi ithandiza kuti makonsolo amenewo atukuke.
Chabwino.
Poyamba alemba anthu ofunikira kuti agwire ntchito imeneyo.
Anthu oyenera pa ntchito yawoyo. Chabwino.
Kandi mauditors. Kandi wina aliyense akhale kuti ali qualified.
Anzathu awolo zogulagula za procurement. Nakakumana naye wazogulagula wazathu a procurement. Mushopu sankadziwa kuti ine nalowa momwe yeso walwaso paka untala ta. Ndanangoti wanona ine ta. Wasintha chichewa polankhulana ni mwini wake shopu. Akuti kodi tizite lanu. Ine ndakuteroni kupatsani kuti mutero. Ine lero ndabwera kuti ndzatero simuniteronso. Tizikhala moterano. Ine
chichewa chakuba.
Ndimwe nena kuti afuna staff staff ikhale yoti yophunzira bwino yoyenerana pa ntchito yake JSD
komanso sipokapo JSD ipereka ndrama kuonjeza pamwamba pa TDF kuti zitukuko zonse zimene zimalephereka kumadera kumeneko zonse zikwanitsidwe
ngati makhoso ena amatifeyo ndalama ndesiuchepa JSD tife tipanga pampwini
mwaona
koma nokapatsidwa ka ndalama ako kamene akuti sikangokhala kongopatseka
kamene koko sikakhala kongopereka ayi
chabwino
ikhala assessment based grant
osati ngati ukalistiya kuti kadzona ledzera ulandira hayi koma izikhala chiti kodi ntchito ugwira bwanji
mwagwira ntchito yachitukuko abwera akupange na assess
chabwinenu
ntchito yanu inali bwanji ngati ntchito sinali bwino ndiye kuti ndalama inayi simulandiranso pokhapokha abwera akuphunzitseni kapena mukatengera luso kwa anzanu amene achita bwino amene achita bwino amene adzira ndira ndalama
ndiye makhoso ena atuithera mu project imene yosalandira makhoso ena kulama alesi
bwanji
zoti mwina mmene mwanena muti zikhala performance based grant performance ena zavuta zikhoza kuavuta tsana amene zizavuta zikhala bwanji
amene zidzavutawo adzipita kayo kaphunzitsa kapena iwo azikaphunzira chakwa kwanza amene achita bwino
azimva kuwawa kuti kodi ifeyo sinalandire bwanji ndalama zimene azathu achita bwanji bwino ndi aziphunzira kwa amene waja ine phungwaku tereta ayamikira VP chifukwa president amadziwa kuti kuli konse kumene kuchita nkhani za malifomu ine ndikhale konko
pache ndenda mando malifomu
ndiye kudziwa kuti malifomu akachitika bwino kumudzi kuma district ndiye kuti kumtunda kuno kuma capital hill kana ndi kuno kuboma sizivuta
ndizoona
ndiye pamene afuna olimbikitsa malifomu zamenewa
komanso tachi ndimesipo khapa JSD imeneyi ilimbikitsa kuonetsetsa kuti nthawi imene kukhonsola akambirana za chitukuko ayeni ake akhalepo osakambira nokhaokha iya
chabwino kaya apanga mapulani azitukuko akhale nawo
olachatimati AIB akhalepo
musokoneza
bwanji
AIB ndina AIB ni agriculture affordable input program mufuna usokoneza zinthu bwanji
zimene mwenazo za agriculture izi ndi zina
akukuta kuli AIB ichaumati annual investment plans izo ndimozimagwirana zizunguza kuja nikuboma zizunguza kuboma zimafanana
akufunitsitsa kuti ayini aka kumeneko azikhala nawo akambirane nawo chimene chimafuna nchakuti anthu akumidzi aja amati twapempha chitukuko
amapempha kwa mabwana
saine mabwana ake ndani
DC ni ena ni gulira
iyayi thumba limeneli limene pita kukhonsolo mabwana ndi ayini aka kumidzi akudera chitukuko sakupempha iyayi akuyitanitsa
ndalama zawo misonkho yawo zibwere mu dzina la chitukuko ngesalupempha chimatipweteka chimene chopempha
mabwana ndife
tiyamikire kwambiri guest imeneyi ndipo tipempha kuti project imeneyi asakapindule ni anthu ena chifukwa tinene zona ku Malawi kuno timalemba bwino koma amapindula ndi anthu amayiko ena amadzatibera ma projects ndiye project imeneyi tipindulire tipange implement bwino project imeneyi kuti kusolola kumwina kuchepe
komanso tichenjeze alipo anthu ena andale amene amanena kuti chitukuko chisapite uku chipite kulifa kumene adandivotera sizandale izi
wandale akakusokonezani inuyo maofficers aku district kuti JSD dzapana inuyo idzapana ni oluza mukhala inu wandale ujakakhala wayeka phunga kuzosokoneza ndalamazi nimakumbuka kuti abwera ndalama zimene za DDF ndiye staff adamwalira kukhonso ndiye awala ati ngobwereka ndalama za ku DDF tigwiritse ntchito uku zikabwera zizathu zaife tidzabweza ku DDF ndeboko sidadzagula muchesi ala aji ndimeperekeza nawo nakasi staff mandikira nayo nabwera nawo palole ubwera muchesi ugula boko sine kumbuyo boko sinanyamuka nalo munjira mundu anakamvula tambowaza timashawasi dada ninyowe nanga muli malemu nisachiro nyowa nangolowa mwene mboko simujo ziphimbira driver machaka driver ikachitofika tilibe mbatate sitilibe tomato titengeko matola mulibe maliro wambonyamula matola inosadziwa ndagona mboko ndipo inu kenako tayenda nato nione kuti mvula yasiya nalitukula boko sutere mkono anthu adambojowa maliro adzuka
Thank you very much indeed, Chindime and Pungwako, for adding a bit of a light moment to this very, very important event. Thank you so much indeed for that. Our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, moving on with the program, allow me now to invite the next person to deliver a statement, and this is Honorable Halima Daudi, MP. She's the Deputy Minister of Local Government. Thank you very much.
Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Felix Mulusu, Minister of Finance, representative from the Treasury, Mr. Charles Makanga, Interim Secretary for Local Government, Mr. Alfeo Banda, the Executive Director of National Local Government Finance Committee, Mr. Hugh Riddell, World Bank Country Manager, senior government officials, all acting district commissioners and chairpersons of councils present here, representatives of local government here present and general public following us virtually, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to start by thanking you, Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, for accepting to preside over the official launch of the Governance to Enable Service Delivery GESID project within a shortest notice, given your busy schedule. It shows how committed you are to the local government family and to the development of this country. Right Honorable the Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased that government successfully designed and negotiated Governance to Enable Service Delivery GESID project. GESID project will be financed by the World Bank as a grant to the tune of $100 million, and it will run for 5 years. My ministry and other implementing partners are geared up to implement the project fully and transform the local authorities to better serve the citizenry. This project will be implemented in all the 28 district councils. Right Honorable the Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, local authorities have huge potential to transform this country through poverty reduction, good infrastructure, improved education, good health, good roads, good bridges, etc. And however, the performance of the councils has been hampered by several challenges they face. Some of the challenges local authorities face include inadequate financial resources to implement programs and projects, delays in disbursement of district development funds, DDF, high vacancy rates, and low staff capacity emanating from, among other things, high staff turnover within councils to implement programs and projects. Resistance from sectors to devolve finances rendering councils with meager resources for implementing the huge devolved functions. Lack of financial accountability and low revenue-based generation activities by councils. GESID project has therefore come at the right time to address these challenges by ensuring that councils work in improving their performance by providing quality services to its citizenry. GESID has then introduced performance-based granting system. This entails that councils that perform well get more funds, and those perform poorly get less funds. It's just common sense that councils will opt for better performance. My ministry will not just leave the poor performing councils. The project will support them so that they also perform better in the next assessment. My ministry will recruit, train, handhold, and orient staff in councils for better performance. We are geared up to do everything possible to support local authorities in addressing the challenges they face. Right Honorable the Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, in order to have effective performance-based grants, my minister has been working on a tool called Local Authority Performance Assessment, LAPA. The new LAPA focuses on evidence-based during assessment. The assessment is very objective and transparent. The assessments are and will be done by independent assessors, and results are validated by the task team from a wide range of MDAs. The assessment process has further taken on board grievances redress mechanism to bring credibility to the process. Right Honorable the Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, my ministry has revised DDF guidelines that will be applied to JSID project grants to ensure transparency and accountability in the management of the project funds. The minister has further put in place measures to enhance monitoring of projects through a digital solution. Right Honorable the Vice President, my ministry will not allow shoddy infrastructure projects, misprocurement, mismanagement of funds, internal borrowing, and failure to complete projects, among others. Councils that will be involved in such practices will not benefit from further disinvestment of DDF performance grant. All these measures have been put in place to ensure value for money and that citizens get what they need. The Right Honorable the Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, this is your meeting. Let me not take much of your time. Once again, I'm grateful that you accepted to come to official launch the JSID projects. Your coming has further added bars of excellence to this project. Let us all remember, COVID is still around. So let's stay safe by observing all precautionary measures. I thank you for your attention. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Halima Daudi, for those remarks, and we hope that this is going to change things in your ministry and how you implement projects in the councils. It must be an exciting moment for your ministry and, of course, all Malawians, because this is what we have always wanted. Allow me now, our guest of honor, to invite the Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Felix Mlusu, to come forward and address us, but also to invite you to officially launch this project. Thank you.
Our guest of honor, Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, the Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, Deputy Minister of Local Government, Honorable Halima Daudi MP, Representative of the World Bank, Country Manager for Malawi, Mr. Ephraim Chilima, the Acting Secretary for Local Government, Mr. Charles Makanga, the Executive Director for National Local Government Finance Committee, Mr. Alufeo Banda, heads of project implementing agencies and all senior government officials here present, officials from the Ministry of Finance, and the entire project coordination team are here present, members of the press,
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to witness the launch of the $100 million US dollar, approximately 79 billion kwacha, Governance to Enable Service Delivery Project, GESID. On behalf of the government and people of Malawi, and indeed on my behalf, I wish to thank the World Bank for supporting the government of Malawi through this project. It is a very important project to government in general and the Ministry of Finance in particular. The financing is a critical cushion to the development budget allocation for district councils. I am pleased to note that over 91.2 million United States dollars, approximately 72 billion kwacha, goes directly to the district councils. This is a fundamental step in our effort towards achieving full fiscal decentralization and enabling the councils in service delivery. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited that this project will address the long-standing concern of inadequacy of funds to implement meaningful development projects in district councils. This is a low-hanging fruit we could not resist. This is one reason why we committed to fund the District Development Fund as budgeted and continue to grow the same year by year during the project implementation period. We are hoping that the two funding sources will emerge in the course of the project implementation period. We further hope that this will attract the interest of other developing partners to join hands with government and indeed the World Bank. With regard to supporting the public finance management reforms, the project, whose level of funds allocation will be based on performance of district councils, will enhance the structures and operations of key public finance management bodies. In the project design, we deliberately allocated high score in public finance management compliance indicators such as external audit, internal audit, financial management, and reporting, as well as procurement, to compel district commissioners to gain more resources on compliance of laws, regulations, and policies. I am encouraged to note the support provided by our stakeholder in public finance management at local government level. To that end, I want to report, Your Honor, that towards the end of the project preparatory period, we received support from the Local Government Accountability Project to review the internal audit manual, local authorities accounting manual, and international public sector accounting standards training manual. These will have great impact in enhancing accountability and transparency, and on the efficiency and effectiveness of delivering public finance roles at district councils during and after the project implementation period. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, by design, this project is a litmus test not only to the district councils involved, but also to the central government. Policy, including ministries, departments, and agencies. It poses a big question on whether government policies are responsive to service delivery demands. From the perspective of the Ministry of Finance, it offers us an opportunity to check if the intergovernmental fiscal transfer formula that is currently in use is responsive to the demands on the ground. We would therefore like to take this opportunity to seek the indulgence of the World Bank that in the event that the formula is not responsive, we should tap part of the resources to address the same. That, in my view, will be the beginning of one major reform to take a comprehensive performance-based approach to a systematic development of a fiscal decentralization strategy. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I want to emphasize the fact that the onus is on the councils to meet requirements of the performance indicators of the project, which in my view are within their reach. This is the only way they can compete effectively in drawing from the game-changing resource pool. I am encouraged to note that all district councils passed the minimum access condition for the 2019-2020 Local Authority Performance Assessment and are therefore eligible for the grant. I take pride in this because the only applicable access condition in the year under review was a submission of financial statements that are compliant with the Public Finance Management Act and international public sector accounting standards in accordance with the financial reporting instructions issued by the Accountant General. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for your attention. May God bless you and our country. Thank you very much. And at this point, I would like to invite the Vice President, Right Honorable Saulos Chilima, to address us. Your Honor, please.
Good afternoon and welcome to everyone present. I resist the temptation to take off my mask, so I will speak through it. Just to say that the mood should be that of a happy people. $100 million is not small money, so can we celebrate a little bit? Let's have, faces that are smiling, even behind the mask, we should still be able to see people that are smiling. We shouldn't be sad people. Honorable Felix Mulusu, Minister of Finance, Honorable Halima Daudi, MP, Deputy Minister of Local Government, Principal Secretaries in the Ministries of Finance, Secretary to the Vice President, the Acting Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, the Executive Director at the National Local Government Finance Committee, the representative of the World Bank Country Manager, senior government officials, representatives of local government or councils that are also present this afternoon, distinguished members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. I feel duty-bound to join you this afternoon and as we officially launch the Governance to Enable Service Delivery project on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, the President of the Republic of Malawi. As we might all be aware, the GESID project is a reform-premised initiative that aims at transforming the livelihoods of the rural citizens through the provision of quality services. I also hasten to say that this is very much in line with the message that is contained in His Excellency's first State of the Nation address last year that talks about rural development. Honourable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely pleased to learn that this project has been carefully and strategically designed to address some of the challenges that have derailed the country's decentralization drive. And to echo the words of others, the decentralization discourse is settled and we all have to move forward in earnest. And as I've said elsewhere, 23 years after the decision to decentralize was made, there should not be any resistance whatsoever for personal or whatever other gains. We must be a country that is able to make decisions, implement, and move on. I therefore look at the GESID project as a major milestone in our drive to deepen the decentralization agenda, local governance, as well as sustainable development, the existence of vibrant, active, and democratic local government authorities, which is very important in safeguarding and strengthening the principles of democracy and good local governance. Honourable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, Malawi's overarching development strategies have consistently identified decentralization as a transformational catalyst to strengthen local service delivery. Further, the National Decentralization Policy of 1998 was formulated to empower local government authorities to deliver public services more efficiently and cost effectively. To this effect, the Tonse Alliance administration, led by His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, the President of this Republic, strongly believes that local authorities have the potential to effectively deliver quality services for sustainable economic growth. It is therefore within this context that the government approached the World Bank for financial support to implement the Governance to Enable Service Delivery project, which will be key in transforming the landscape of our local authorities. Honourable Ministers and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the GESID project, which has been aligned to the Malawi Growth and Development Strategy number 3, is premised at strengthening local authorities' institutional performance and effectiveness in service delivery at the local government level. It is for this reason that the project's implementation modalities will be multi-sectoral in their nature and approach. I therefore wish to urge the following key implementing sectors. Number one, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Finance, the National Audit Office, the Central Internal Audit, the National Local Government Finance Committee, the Local Government Services Commission, the Ministry of Local Government, the Ministry of Transport and Public Works, the Department of Human Resources Management and Development, and the Office of the President and Cabinet to diligently commit themselves to this project, especially now that we are also implementing the Public Sector Reforms Program. Honourable Ministers and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have been made aware that a substantial portion of this grant is allocated to the performance-based financing for service delivery. The model aims at enhancing predictable development financing for local government authorities in a manner that incentivizes sustained improvements in efficiency, equity, and accountability. This is very pleasing to note because the grant will provide broadly discretionary resources for local authorities to finance priority developed investments that are resilient and that will also enhance public services. Regarding sustainability, I would like to echo that this grant, including the government-funded District Development Fund, the DDF, will be integrated in a revamped intergovernmental fiscal transfer system. This will, in essence, provide enough funds to finance much-needed micro-projects across the local government authorities. To this end, government is therefore committed to stabilize the DDF as the primary intergovernmental fiscal transfer vehicle for funding development priorities at the local authorities level. Honourable Ministers and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am very hopeful, therefore, that the coming in of the JESID project will help to inculcate the required standards of efficiency in service delivery so that citizens can begin to see the impact through positive transformation of projects, households, as well as communities. I am particularly excited that eligibility for the performance-based grant and the amount to be allocated will be determined by an annual local authority performance assessment model whose results have already been announced, and we congratulate those that have done well, while we encourage those that haven't done as well. Allow me to hastily underscore that this will not only provide a litmus test regarding Council's performances, but also in conducting checks and balances in pursuit of top-notch performances by the local government authorities. As I conclude, I would like to therefore warn local authorities that as a government, we will not tolerate a business-as-usual culture in the local government authorities. Local government authorities shall be held accountable, and the controlling officers will account for any substandard works. I therefore wish to urge you to focus on the goal of the project and make sure that you positively contribute to the country's development through this noble duty. However, it is important to ensure that we always align our development goals and strategies to the MW 2063 agenda and its pillars, because the blueprint is key in transforming the landscape of our country. Finally, allow me to sincerely acknowledge the long-term partnership with the World Bank over the years in supporting several development projects in Malawi, including this JESID project. I wish to further express our sincere appreciation for the World Bank's commitment to supporting the government of Malawi in different fields. Just to also appeal to everyone that as a country, we must embrace this performance-based culture because it is going to trigger performance-based funding. In future, after 5 years, we should be back here to launch a $500 million or $1 billion project. So the $100 million that we're receiving or that we are launching this afternoon is just to start the good things to come. With these remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege to officially declare the Governance to Ensure Service Delivery project officially launched. I thank you for your attention, and may the good Lord bless you as He blesses Malawi. Thank you.
much. So, Your Excellency, the microphone was off. I also want to request that you remain on the podium and that you be joined by the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Minister of Local Government so that we can officially launch the policy. May I invite those carrying a
Copy of the policy to come forward and present the same to the Honorable Minister of Finance, who will present it to the Vice President to launch it, after which he will hand it over to the Deputy Minister of Local Government. Thank you very much. I will request the Vice President to remain on stage, but the Minister of Finance and Deputy Minister of Local Government can go and resume their seats. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we've got copies of the Okay, thank you so much. I'm being corrected that the Minister of Finance will have to assist in the handing over of the policies. We've got copies of the governance to enable service delivery project policy that are going to be handed over to the best performing councils. So at this moment, I will invite the councillors representing the best performing councils to make their way forward and receive a copy of the policy, starting with Councillor Michael Chauluka from Balaka. We heard that they did very well. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. That's Councillor Michael Chauluka from Balaka. Councillor Musa Chikwakwa representing Blantyre, please come forward. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I also invite Councillor Luciano Botomani from Lilongwe to come forward and get a copy of the Governance to Enable Service Delivery Policy. Thank you very much. Councillor Iona Ntanga, representing Mchinji, please come forward. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Governance to Enable Service Delivery. Nchito zachitukuko zotumikira anthu. Tonse makonsolo.
Councillor Binya from Kasungu.
Akukupatsirani uthengawo the National Local Government Finance Committee, NLGFC.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Munyenyembe from Rumpi, Councillor Hare Munyenyembe from Rumpi. Thank you very much, Your Excellency and Honorable Minister. You can go and take your seat. Thank you very much. And I will request that you remain standing so that we sing the Malawi National Anthem. For those who are sitting, may we rise for the Malawi National Anthem.
Bonje
nyimbo ya mtundu wathu imeneyo kutseka mwambo umenewu umene umachikira kuno ku BICC muno